You know that it's fun to go out, except I never leave my house. I'm either at work or home, and it seems kind of pathetic just drinking alone. So if you got nothing going on, have some drinks with Ron.
Hello and welcome to Drinks with Ron. I'm Ron here in the wine cellar, about to have a drink. This is one of my last gallons of wine I made. It's in the Potosi Brewing Growler. This is my last trip to Potosi. I was unpleased with A, the price of 2 growler refills, and B, the fact that my second growler, although the fill line is up here, was filled more to here. Which, as I say, wouldn't be a big deal if it wasn't $16 fucking for a jug of beer that I got shorted on. But I digress. It's about the wine. So, yeah, I had about 4 gallons going, and most of them came out pretty bad. So, admittedly, I'm going to have to suffer through and drink 4 gallons of lackluster wine. Yes, it's a horrible, horrible thing to have to suffer. You screw up making wine, so now I got to drink alcohol. It's rough some days. This is surprisingly not horrible. It's actually pretty damn good. The other gallon I have in the fridge is a little rough, I will admit, but it's pretty tasty. Makes me feel like telling a story, so I'm gonna. A couple days ago, I posted online. I went out in my front yard. I have a bunch of trees up front. Did a lot of mulching, single-handedly. All by myself is what that means. Loaded up the truck with mulch a couple times. Had to dump it all myself. Took days of just straight work. And there's nothing more frustrating than going out in the front yard and seeing all these little brown patches where a squirrel came looking for a friggin' nut that he buried in my yard last year before there was mulch. So now the little rodent bastards are tearing up my mulch everywhere, bringing dirt all on top of it. And as I said, the 5 and 6 little patches where the mulch is moved around and there's a little hole. I'm like, the fuckers waited until June to come and get that walnut? So, I got maple trees up there. So there's always shit growing up. I'm constantly yanking small trees out of my front yard. So the other day I pulled one out of the front. It was about 2 feet tall, and when I yanked it out by the roots, on both halves of the roots was a half a walnut. Either a squirrel was incredibly forgetful about where he put it, or the dumb rodent bastard didn't survive the winter and didn't come back to get said nut. Either way, it went from tasty squirrel treat to small future bearing fruit tree. So I thought, well shit, it's a pretty good tree, looks good, I'll transplant it to my backyard. A couple of years I will have a tall, delicious walnut tree, and the squirrels will thank me. So I transplanted it, dumped some water on it, came back and checked it the next day. It was looking a little rough. Checked it the day after. It was dug up by the roots from some dumb fucking squirrel that had to come and get the half shells of the walnut. And I'm standing in the backyard cursing him out, going, you stupid fucker, the part that you were going to eat turned into a tree. The tasty nut meat inside that you enjoy so much no longer exists. It's now a tree. There's nothing for you to eat here. So I had to post on Facebook that squirrels are so fucking short-sighted. You know, 10 years, there's going to be walnuts everywhere, you dumb fuck. No, now there's just a dead stick in my backyard with a half a walnut attached to one of its former roots. Like, there's a reason they're called tree rats. But it got me thinking about some squirrel stories, and of course, I have them. Got me thinking. It's back in La Crosse. Had this apartment. We were upstairs, and had this little porch. I use quotes because it wasn't really a porch. It was something added to the side of the house as a fire escape to be legally up to code. So you weren't really supposed to hang out on it or stand there. It was about that wide. You know, you could get two good guys on the porch. You could cram a third in there if you were smoking, but you were going to be elbow to elbow. So generally, two guys on the porch, one standing in the doorway leaning out. Great for, like I said, we always step outside to smoke. Not much of a smoker. When we have guys over at the house, you don't want the place reeking, go out to the porch. Or we had a bar a block down the street. It's always great to step on the porch. Oh, lights are on, let's go to Chubb's. Or my favorite, when the guy across the street was getting arrested. Oh, you know it. I mean, we're standing there, the cops show up, and he's out. Get a fucking beer, get out here and check this out. So there's three of us standing on the porch with beers in hand, watching this guy give his side of the story to the cop. She hit me. Look at my face. I'm the one who got hit here. Great drama. Good TV. Back to my point. We spent a lot of time on the porch, especially in the summer. Very hot. We didn't have AC at the time. I had a buddy of mine who had broken up with his girlfriend. He was living at her house. So when you break up with somebody you're living with, you kind of have to leave and take all your shit in a hurry. So he did. Came up to La Crosse to sell off his car. Was going to make a couple of bucks. Drive his mom's car. So I had to go with him to drop this car off, and on the way back I'm driving the car that his mom was giving him, and as I'm talking to him going, dude, this car ain't gonna make it. I can hear the fucking rod knocking. Like, it's gonna, I don't know how far you're gonna get, but when it goes, it's gonna go. So we drove from the north side of La Crosse. He drove it back to the south side, parked it in front of my house, dead. Like, literally, it's like, I'm glad I told you that, because... So, long story short, dude's living in my living room, sleeping on the floor, because I'm a good friend and I do such things. But we spent a lot of time on the porch that summer, is what I'm driving at, and we started noticing a lot of neighborhood squirrels. One in particular showed up so much. He was a little distinct, so we knew who he was, and then we had to name him. You know, once you name him, it's all fucking over. So, hey guys, Barnabas is back. So named him Barnabas Shackelford. I don't know why, it's a good fucking squirrel name. Like a buddy of mine says about, buddy of mine says online, I saw a raccoon, his name was Oil Can. Oil Can's a very common name for raccoons, it's like Joe. Well, Barnabas is a very common squirrel name. You know, it's also like Joe for squirrels. So we see Barnabas, we get to yelling at him, you know, he looks at us like he knows what we're talking about. Well, we got hooked on a peanut kick, and well, next thing you know, we're chucking peanuts up to Barnabas, and up at the top of the overhang of the house, there's a little hole. So we're just trying to we're winging nuts up there, trying to throw peanuts in this hole. Fucking brilliant, right? Nothing better than showing a fucking rodent, here's how you get into my house, here's how you move in, oh, and by the way, here's some food too. So when you get in, you're all fucking set. You know, I'll have cable set up for you tomorrow. Just bring your fucking squirrel couch in and set up. Have a big squirrel fucking orgy. I don't know what you do with up there, but like I say, it's dumb. So we spent all summer chucking nuts up there for Barnabas. And that fall, I'm laying in bed, my alarm goes off around 8 a.m. Snooze. Snooze again. Well, alarm's going, it's going. And I would wake up in the morning, shut the alarm off, and go back to bed, and I'd hear fucking noise up above my bed. Like fucking scurrying around, digging and shit. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? Well, it got to the point where it was so much, and then the alarm clock would piss the squirrel off. So if I slept through my alarm and it would keep going, the squirrel up above my bed would become angry, and he would like be hissing and I'm laying in bed going, what the fuck is that? I finally put two and two together, and I hear this, he's up there bitching, so I get pissed. So I'm laying in bed at 8:10 in the morning going, you don't pay no fucking rent here! You shut your fucking mouth! I'll goddamn kill you! You're fucking... So there I am, full on top of my lungs, screaming at a rodent that lives in my house, based on the fact that I was dumb enough to fucking throw a nut and show him how to get into the attic. So it's just this big clusterfuck of stupid. Well, gotta get rid of the rodents, so I'm having trouble sleeping with him screaming at me like he owns the place, so I call the landlord. you know, it was, yeah, you got squirrels, but no, Mike, the squirrel's in the attic. He's yelling at me. So I told him all this shit. So the solution is he puts a live trap on our front porch. Now, for those of you who don't know what a live trap is, it's essentially a giant metal cage with a spring-loaded door, so when said rodent comes inside, the door slams shut, leaving him unkilled, but captured. At which point the landlord tells me, we'll take the cage, we'll drive it across the river into Minnesota, we'll let the fucker go. You know, and in my head I picture this fucking squirrel trying to hitchhike back over to Wisconsin to get to his nut-filled, you know, place up above my house and yell at me in the morning. So yeah, we're catching squirrels left and right. Well, one day my neighbor comes over, rings doorbell, I come to get the door, and he's standing there with this look on his face as there's a squirrel going absolutely apeshit in the cage. Stripped his fucking teeth, going apeshit, trying to shove his face through the cage like his nose is all raw. It's like, squirrel, I don't have time to explain spatial relations to you, but your fucking head isn't going to fit through the hole, let alone the rest of your goddamn body. Calm down. You know, he wasn't listening to me. So, so I got a squirrel going fucking apeshit, running around this cage, hissing, going fucking nuts, and my buddy's going, what the fuck are you doing here? It's like, not me, man, not me. It's like, well, let the fucker go. Like, I ain't gonna let the fucker go. He's gonna be back in my ceiling bitching at me about my alarm clock tomorrow fucking morning. Like, furthermore, this isn't even Barnabas. We didn't fucking catch him. Like, I know Barnabas. This was a black squirrel. Nothing against black squirrels. I'm not a squirrel racist by any means. But La Crosse is loaded with black squirrels, one of which Barnabas was not. So, as I say, not a squirrel racist. It's just for the sake of differentiating squirrels. Because some of you racist bastards thinks all squirrels looks alike. That's just not true. Anyway, back to my point. So I was kind of worried I was going to lose a friend over the situation because he thought I was a little weird for capturing a live rodent on my porch and leaving him there. But that's how it goes. I call the fucking landlord and go, dude, there's a squirrel going apeshit in the cage. You gonna do something about it, or you gonna leave him here till he dies? Because that really defeats the purpose of a fucking live trap. So, squirrels were taken away. They patched the hole. Barnabas was never seen again. It was a sad/happy day for me, and thus ends all my squirrel stories. Except for this, I will close on this. I told you previously about the black squirrels in La Crosse. Well, I had the privilege of hanging out with a guy who, shall I say, wasn't very fucking smart. And I got the story secondhand, but he was riding with a buddy of mine. They're coming across town, and there's a black squirrel. Jesus Christ, there he is again. So what? What are you talking about? I keep fucking seeing this same black squirrel all over town. How does he get everywhere? There's more than one, man. There's more than one black squirrel. Maybe he was a squirrel racist and all the black squirrels look the same to him. I don't know. I don't judge squirrels based on fur color. Underneath the fur, they're all a soft, pink, ugly-looking rodent. The difference between a squirrel and a fucking rat is a squirrel's got a little fluffy tail. Well, if you've ever seen a squirrel that's had a run-in with electricity on the pole and that shit's all burnt off, they got a long, scaly-looking rat tail. So, like I say, underneath, they're all just tree rats. And color doesn't matter. Let's move past this squirrel color issue. Enough black squirrel on black squirrel crime. Let's all come together and unite to hate all fucking squirrels, like I do. That's not about race. That's just about squirrels. Fucking tree rats, digging up my yard, eating my fucking trees, yelling at me over my alarm, eat all my peanuts and act like I'm a dick. He didn't pay no fucking rent there. And I told him so. I told him a couple of times. God, the neighbors must have thought I was one fucking weird dude. So on that, I will finish my surprisingly not horrible wine and go to bed. So for Drinks with Ron, signing off.